Former Minister of State Elvin Penner, respondent in an extended legal battle with Kola, walked out of court at midday, his legal woes seemingly behind him. Penner's departure from the Supreme Court followed the dismissal of an appeal by Giovanni Brackett and Murphy McLaren in a private suit against him, hard on the heels of a passport scandal in 2013.
In my view, today what we've seen here, if you want to disguise an evidence, or if you want to hide it from the court, just give it to the police. That's what it boils down to in my point of view.
Flanked by uniformed police officers, evidently to avoid a repeat of being egged, Penner took no questions from the media. Instead, the disgraced politician advanced toward a waiting vehicle where he was spirited away from the parking lot. Chief Justice Kenneth Benjamin, despite a tardy start, set aside the case on the basis of insufficient evidence.
Well, my interpretation is that yes, he has dismissed the appeal. Let us start there. Fundamentally, the appeal has been dismissed, but he certainly agreed with us in many instances that the magistrate had erred. In many respects in her decision, she had erred in law, but it was not so much so as to amount to an overturn of her decision. So he had found that there was no evidence before the magistrate for her to have given a decision, and that's why he ruled today that he would not overturn that decision, but in many respects she did in fact err.
The discharge, however, is not seen as a clear victory for Penner. In spite of its detriment to Kola's argument that the fallen junior Minister of Immigration acted criminally during the infamous Wong Hung Kim passport deal, he is not vindicated.
It did not exonerate Elvin Penner. That did not. All that the court was saying is that we were not able to produce evidence. We did not have legitimate rights to those what, in our view, would be strong evidence or could be evidence. We will never know what's in that file, it appears, as long as we have this DPP, as long as we have this commissioner, and as long as we have this government. We will never know if Elvin Penner would have been guilty or not.
The question going forward is whether the Supreme Court decision will also be appealed.
We haven't put much thought to that as yet. We haven't decided that. Certainly our biggest concern, and has always been, the involvement of all these functionaries of the government. We're talking about the Ombudsman, who has declined to assist us in any way under the Freedom of Information Act. We're talking about the Auditor General. If you recall, Kola actually had to get a leak of the Auditor General's report, which was damning against this government, damning against Elvin Penner, not in just one regard, but in many regards.
The judgment for some is undoubtedly disappointing. For Kola, it remains a valiant effort on the part of the citizenry.
We have fought a good fight, and Kola in no way feels let down. We're not demoralized, and we feel that we have done our job on behalf of the people of Belize to have tried to attempt to gain a victory here today.
Reporting for News 5, I am Issa.